Imagine how a simple vacation can upend your entire life. You meet an African warrior who is the love of your life, break off your engagement, leave your job, and ultimately have a movie made about it. This is the story of Corinne Hoffman. What happened to Corinne and her warrior, Letinga Lepamorejo? Did their love last? Watch the whole video to find out. But before we continue, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. So let's get started. Love is a force that can cross oceans, break down walls, and unite people from different worlds. This is the story of Corinne, a successful businesswoman from Switzerland who traveled to Kenya 36 years ago for what was supposed to be a simple vacation. But what she found was something far more powerful than she could have ever imagined. Corinne met a proud Samburu warrior named Letinga Lepamorejo. And despite the vast differences in their worlds, their hearts spoke the same language. She fell deeply in love, and so did he. Corinne did the unthinkable for the sake of love. She broke off her engagement, left her successful career, and moved to a remote village in Kenya. She traded luxury for a humble hut in the wild, living a life that was far from anything she'd ever known. But love isn't always easy. Corinne and Letinga faced many challenges, cultural differences, language barriers, and the harsh realities of life in the jungle. Corinne Hoffman seemed like an ordinary girl from Europe. She was born in 1960, with her roots stretching between Germany and France. Growing up in Switzerland, she lived a privileged life. At 21, she opened her own clothing store, and her business flourished. Corinne had everything she could wish for: beauty, wealth, and a promising future. With her tall stature and blonde hair, she was admired by many. She had been dating Marco for nearly 2 years, a handsome and affluent man from her social circle. Marriage and a comfortable life together seemed like a natural next step. But Corinne found the prospect of such a conventional life uninspiring. Instead, she dreamed of exploring the world and embarking on adventures that would change her life forever. Little did she know that her journey would lead her not to Marco, but to a man who would guide her into a new and extraordinary chapter of her life. In 1986, Corinne and Marco were a young couple who shared a deep passion for exploring different cultures. Their adventures took them to many places, but when Marco suggested a trip to Kenya, Corinne's heart skipped a beat. Kenya, with its vibrant culture and stunning landscapes, seemed like the perfect destination to fuel their shared love for travel. Corinne's excitement was through the roof as they stepped off the plane in Kenya. Armed with her mother's old camera, she snapped pictures of everything that caught her eye. From the bustling airport to the colorful ferry, she couldn't help but gasp at the beauty surrounding her. But it was on the ferry ride to Mombasa that something truly magical happened. Corinne, 26 years old and full of life, was enjoying the gentle sway of the ferry when she spotted something that made her heart flutter. Standing on the grasslands near the shore were Samburu warriors, tending to their livestock. But there was one warrior, tall and striking, who caught her eye like no one ever had. His name was Letinga Lepamorejo, and he was breathtakingly different from anyone she had ever seen. Tinga's appearance was mesmerizing. He wore a simple loincloth, his red hair was intricately braided, and he adorned himself with beautiful jewelry that glimmered in the sunlight. Corinne found herself wholly captivated by this exotic stranger. As the ferry continued its journey, she couldn't stop thinking about Tinga. It was as if she had fallen in love at first sight, and she was so enchanted that she barely noticed Marco for the rest of the ride. But fate had more in store for her. When they arrived in Mombasa, a group of local tribesmen came to guide them on a tour of the town. To Corinne's amazement, one of them was Tinga, the very warrior she had been dreaming about. Her heart raced as she tried to stay close to him, asking him questions, even though they didn't speak the same language. Somehow, through smiles and gestures, they communicated, and every interaction made her fall deeper in love. As the tour ended, Corinne couldn't bear the thought of saying goodbye to Tinga. She knew that this was more than just a holiday romance. It was something special. So when it was time to leave Kenya, she made a decision that would change her life forever. She decided to go back to Switzerland, sell her dressmaking business, and return to Kenya to be with Tinga. But there was a catch. Tinga had no idea about her plans, and Corinne didn't really know much about him either, except that she wanted to be with him. When she broke the news to Marco that they were breaking up, he was utterly shocked. He had no idea what had gone wrong, but Corinne couldn't explain it. She only knew that her heart belonged in Kenya. Back in Switzerland, Corinne wasted no time. She moved out of the apartment she had shared with Marco, sold her successful clothing business, and told her friends and family that she would be gone for a while. When Marco tried to talk to her, she was already miles away in her mind, thinking only of her Samburu warrior. Corinne's love for Tinga was like a beautiful fairy tale, full of unexpected twists and turns. She was ready to leave everything behind for a chance at true love, even if it meant stepping into the unknown. And so, with a heart full of hope, she set off on a journey that would take her back to the land where she had found the love of her life. In 1987, Corinne Hoffman, now deeply in love with the Samburu warrior Tinga, took a brave step to confess her feelings to him. The African man, captivated by her beauty and charm, could not resist, and they spent a night together. However, Tinga, from a traditional society where family lineage and cultural practices were paramount, could not immediately see her as a potential wife. He was unsure of her background and how she would fit into his world. Despite his reservations, Corinne's determination and grace won over Tinga's family. She showed them that her love for Tinga was sincere and deep. Eventually, they accepted her, and the couple was married in a beautiful ceremony that honored Samburu traditions. Corinne embraced her new life with the tribe and settled in the wild jungles of Kenya. She traded the comforts of civilization for a life in a modest hut made of dung. Without modern amenities like running water, electricity, or proper sanitation, her daily life became a series of new challenges. She learned to fetch wood, collect water, and adapt to the harsh realities of living in the jungle. Despite the hardships, Corinne's love for Tinga gave her the strength to endure. However, the cultural differences between them began to strain their relationship. From the start of their marriage, Tinga's jealousy was evident. He would often make scenes if he saw her interacting with other men. Unable to understand the more open nature of her behavior, Tinga was accustomed to a patriarchal family structure, where the man was the head, and he was troubled by Corinne's independence, especially when she opened a small shop in the village to sell essential goods. As the years passed, Corinne's struggles grew more intense. She learned that the Samburu practiced female circumcision, a painful and brutal tradition that involves the cutting of young girls' genitals. This practice, illegal and condemned in many developed countries, was something Corinne could not accept for her daughter. She was also troubled by the tribe's customs that allowed Tinga to marry multiple wives and expected her to give their daughter as a servant to his mother. Tensions escalated when Tinga became increasingly jealous and irritable. Corinne was worn down by the constant accusations and the pressure to conform to traditions she could not support. The cumulative strain of these issues, combined with the harsh living conditions and her husband's behavior, made it clear that her life in the tribe was becoming unbearable. One day, after 14 years together, Corinne made the heart-wrenching decision to leave the tribe with her daughter. Corinne decided it was time to return to Switzerland with her daughter, claiming she needed a 2-week holiday. Tinga, though wary and suspecting that she might not return, eventually signed the form granting her permission to take her daughter out of Kenya. She returned to Switzerland, ready to rebuild her life and provide a better future for her child. The journey was arduous, but Corinne was determined to follow her heart and ensure her daughter would grow up free from the painful traditions she had come to reject. Back in Switzerland, Corinne resumed her former life, carrying with her the memories of her incredible journey, a journey marked by love, sacrifice, and the courage to stand up for what she believed was right. In 1998, Corinne, having lived through an extraordinary adventure in the heart of Kenya with her Samburu warrior, published her memoir, Daiwabi Masai, recounting her profound experiences and the challenges she faced. To her immense surprise and delight, the book quickly became a sensation, capturing the hearts of readers and climbing the bestseller lists in Germany. Within just 2 years, an astonishing 4 million copies were sold. The book's success transcended borders, being translated into 26 languages and becoming a truly international phenomenon, that resonated with readers around the world. The book's success led to its adaptation into a 2005 film with the same title, featuring Nina Hoss and Jackie Ito in the lead roles, and directed by the renowned German filmmaker Hermann Hunkelberg. Watching the portrayal of her life on the big screen moved Corinne to tears, and the film's release opened the floodgates of gratitude. She began receiving heartfelt messages from individuals across the United States and Australia, who expressed their deep appreciation for her courage in sharing such a personal and transformative journey. With the financial success from her book and the subsequent lecture tours, Corinne enjoyed a comfortable and fulfilling life by Lake Lugano, where she reflected on her past and continued to share her experiences through further writings. She authored several more books, including Zurück aus Afrika, Reunion in Barcelona, and Mein Passion Afrika, each continuing the story of her deep connection to Africa and its people, enriching the narrative of her initial masterpiece and solidifying her place as an influential voice in literature. Despite her professional accomplishments, Corinne's personal life faced its own set of challenges. A new romantic relationship with a former schoolmate struggled under the immense public attention her Maasai life had garnered, and the unresolved emotions tied to her past love for Tinga cast a long shadow. Her enduring connection to Tinga remained a powerful and unresolved force in her life, influencing her decisions and relationships. In 2004, Corinne made a momentous return to Barcelona, bringing her daughter, who had longed to see her father. She had purposely delayed this visit until her daughter was 17, driven by fears that Tinga might attempt to claim custody under local law. Upon arriving in the village, her anxieties eased as she was welcomed warmly. Tinga, who had established a successful life with 2 Maasai wives and another daughter, was overjoyed to reunite with his long-lost daughter, and proudly showed Corinne and Nepirai the many positive changes in the village. The village had evolved significantly, boasting a school, 14 shops, and a waterhole, alleviating the burdensome daily treks to the river. Children were learning English, and traditional rites of passage had evolved, reflecting a shift from the past. Tinga, once part of a fading warrior tradition, had become a respected father and community leader, content with his role in the modernizing world. The man Corinne had known was no longer the same. A more serene and content figure had replaced the jealousy and violence of the past. Though tinged with a bittersweet understanding, their reunion brought Corinne a sense of peace. She realized that while she couldn't envision living in that world again, the warmth of the reunion and the cherished memories of her time in Africa filled her heart with quiet satisfaction. Corinne departed from Kenya with a heart full of new and beautiful memories, knowing that the love, the man, and the tribe that had once been a significant part of her life would remain unforgettable. Her daughter, the living testament to that love, is now 35 years old, symbolizing a profound and enduring connection. What do you think about Corinne's decision to leave everything behind for a stranger from a different background and culture? What's the most significant sacrifice you've made for love? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below, and see you in the next video.